Again, I represent Kentucky House District 41. I'm going to talk a little bit about Breonna Taylor. In just a few days, thousands of people in Louisville and across Kentucky and throughout our country will lift up her family and her community in prayer. Saturday, March 13th, 1 year. This is a hard week for a lot of us. I've said this before. Kentucky can be cruel to Black women, even in death. I said that on the floor when I spoke about Councilwoman Tanya C. Brooks, who passed away in December. We saw this in the response to Breonna's murder. She was immediately demonized. She wasn't allowed to be a victim. She was thrown under the bus and ran over by almost every facet of our society. And yet her family continued to be the biggest advocates for justice for Breonna Taylor. Much love to her mom, Miss Tamika Palmer, to her sister, Janiyah. She and my daughter, Shanti, graduated from middle school together. Much love to her aunt, Bianca. I attended church with their granddad until he passed away not too long ago. This is about family and community. Since March of 2020, Breonna's family has put themselves out here for public scrutiny as they've sought justice for their daughter, their sister, and their niece. In May of 2020, many of us caught up with the family and also put our bodies on the front lines for justice for Breonna. My life experience is different than everyone's here, just as yours is different from mine. And I've always found opportunities to learn from my colleagues who are from different places than I am. I often go home to West Louisville, where there are 19 chemical plants along the Rubbertown corridor, and talk about folks in Martin County not having clean drinking water or bathing water and how we can build together and take care of Kentucky together. Sometimes that's reciprocated. Sometimes it's not. I filed Breonna's law in August of 2020 so that people would have plenty of time to tear the bill apart and provide good and important feedback. I didn't receive much legislative feedback except for the 15 people, some in this room, who signed on as co-sponsors. House Bill 21 is a reasonable measure. I wanted to present it to you during the interim so that we could have a conversation before the session began, but that did not happen. While the state FOP response to me filing Breonna's law was fairly vicious initially, not the same for President Stivers' bill, Ryan Straw and I with the Kentucky State FOP have started conversations about the issues raised in House Bill 21. So we find ourselves here now, and you will hear more from Dr. Kraska about how his expertise contributed to creating House Bill 21. In the bill, you will find that we practically mirrored Breonna's law that was passed unanimously in Louisville in June. In House Bill 21, we outlined law enforcement clearly announcing themselves. We outlined a 10-second waiting time before entering the premises. These are measures designed to keep law enforcement safe and the people who are in their homes. We outlined the use of body-worn cameras to record serving a search warrant. Our bill includes mandatory alcohol and drug testing of officers who are involved in a deadly incident. We expect forklift operators to comply with mandatory alcohol and drug testing when they have an accident. My brother is a truck driver. He has random alcohol and drug testing as a truck driver, whether he's been in an accident or not. On the night that Breonna was killed, many of you probably know by now that there was no aid rendered to her. That's an issue that we have to address moving forward. These are all measures that are reasonable that you'll find in House Bill 21.